Mike muted there for a second. Not only are we on time, we're slightly early. Hello. Wednesday, huh? Guess we're doing this again. If you're not on the Discord, you missed some hang outage beforehand. We got funky. Listened to some funk and it was pretty good. That's hi. How y'all doing out there? All two of you, apparently. It did. So it works. It works on the Discord or on the Restream. Okay, here, look. I can show you. Discord, and this is on the Restream chatbot. And nothing. Okay, so it doesn't work. Thank you, bot, for being so unbelievably helpful. What is happening? Nope. Fail. All fail. Wow. Nope. No idea what's going on there. It should work. That should be a thing that works. I think they changed something on the bot end. Bot. Relay mode. Yes. Commands. Nope. Discord is there. It's there. I'm looking at the command right now. The bot's broken. I don't know. I'm not going to worry about it. It's in the link tree. Everything is in the link tree. The Discord invite is in the link tree. Just go to the link tree. Everything's there. Yeah. Nightbot got out of control before. So I'm a little nervous about Nightbot. And the problem is, like, we need a bot that's going to relay between all the different chats, right? So, hello, Scarlett. Nice to see you again. Yeah, bot go boom. It's true. Those of you who joined us for the pre-stream hangout, you know what we're doing today, because we did talk about it. But yeah, I'm gonna do this again. Okay, this is gonna be out of focus, I guarantee you. What do you think of that? Sorry, it's a bit of all right. So this is a new model that I am working on. It's a bit Skeksis-y, a bit mysticky, and it's just going to be a whole new thing. Linktree isn't in the YouTube description. Oh, good point. I should probably do that. Not right now, but if I forget, please remind me for the next time. So yeah, this is a new. As I was saying before, the little sort of bump on the end of the nose here was kind of a mistake, but I decided to lean into it. This may or may not be the way that future ones look, but now that I've got it, I kind of like it, and I decided to lean into it, so I actually put some stuffing in here as well to sort of emphasize it now that it's there. You know, I could have trimmed it off and then ladder stitch it closed, because the original kind of design was this sort of smooth, overhanging nose, but this little hook on the end kind of works. I kind of like it, so we're gonna go with it. Happy accidents, exactly. You are on the money. I see a post in Frankie's office. I think I've been reminded already. Yes, thank you very much. Demon Dreamer, hello, nice to see you. All the accidents, exactly. So yeah, we're working on this. So one of the things that I'm gonna do with this, since it's gonna be a new model, most of my puppets, I'll have some recycled bits from other designs. So the body is gonna be one of my standard wrought arm bodies. The hands I'm still gonna think about, because I do have some thoughts around that. We'll talk about that later. But what we're going to focus on today for the stream are the eyes. So I'm going to do something a little bit different with the eyes that I haven't done before. And go to the top cam. And we'll just put this over here. So I've got these. Now these are just thermoplastic that I put on the vacuum form machine. And I just made a couple of bucks from the, a buck is the mold that you put to have the thermoplastic go around on a vacuum form machine. Let me even show you that right here. So this is the buck, and this is just one of the extra large ping pong balls filled with resin. And so this is solid, right? You wouldn't use this on a puppet because it's too heavy, but this is what you use to vacuum form a shape around. So we've got these nice light, thin, hollow shells. Now, because they're black, what I want to do, let's see if I can get some release here. That's nice stuff. Where's the nice stuff? Probably buried, because that's where the nice stuff goes. You bury it. Well, I want to do them purple. Shout out Scarlet. You know, Scarlet, for someone who loves purple, your name is Scarlet. You know what I'm saying? We'll just show it with the blue stuff here. So I want to do eyelids on the top and the bottom. And what they're gonna kind of be is like, I don't know how well it's gonna come across, but yeah. Can I wrap this around and maybe sort of show? Yeah, kind of, right? So you see where we're going with that, right? This kind of thing. Couldn't think of any purple names. That's fair. That's fair. Prince was taken. Yeah, this is the kind of thing I want to do with these. Just like big alien kind of eyes, right? So that's what we're going to attempt today on stream, is to do that. So there's two kind of phases to that. One is to do the actual eyelids themselves. That's fairly easy and straightforward, and I've done that lots of times. This camera is way too zoomed in today. I don't like it. We'll have to live with it because I can't fix it on stream, unfortunately, but I gotta, again, remember for next time. Yeah, they're very, very lizard eye, very much lizard eye. But the other thing is I gotta decide how I want to attach these. And there's a couple of different options, and it's always the challenge with these hollow shells is how do you attach them so that they're, like if I was making this for a professional production or something, I wouldn't worry too much about it. Usually we just like epoxy a bolt or something in there and we just screw it on, a big washer in the bottom, and that will do because you know you're going to be taking them off and replacing them and everything. But for the shop, I need to make this kind of real solid and unremovable. What I've been doing lately is I either glue in an existing safety eye just over top, because these are, you know, the diameter of these are bigger than any safety eye, and then just use the peg from the safety eye, or glue in a dull joint. And dull joints work really well for this kind of thing. But the problem is, let me show you the problem. Here is my biggest diameter dull joint. And as you can see, they are considerably smaller than the eye. So if I were to just glue this in as is, it would be too far down and I wouldn't be able to put it on securely. So we have to kind of raise it up a little bit. So there's a couple of ways we can do that to make this really solid, because when this goes on, you have to really push down hard to get the dull joint locked in place. And this is really, really thin and I don't want to collapse it. So the way to do this is to kind of get physics to work for you and to make a disc that is the same diameter as what you want to attach onto. And so that way the kind of the load is evenly distributed. Bonk, hello, nice to see you. So that's kind of where I'm at the moment, is figuring out how I want to do that. I could just take some plastic and cut some circles and then glue onto that. Yeah, physics. But another way we could possibly do this is, let me see, do these things have washers? I mean, I've got lots of these, so there's no, I can just use these. You know, these are the biggest diameter that I have. Another thing I could do is just double these up, so I could put like the washer end and then glue one of these, and that's still a little too shallow. See, we need the peg to stick out the bottom. Of course, the other thing that I could do, and I have done in the past really often, is to just take some existing large safety eyes like these. I've done a couple goblins like this. These safety eyes have really nice long pegs. And so I could just glue that in just like that and boom, done. I don't really want to do that because these are now quite rare. Because these come from Papa Pelts and I haven't found their supplier or anything. And as we may know, or as you may know, and as I definitely know, Papa Pelt's future is, I don't know what's going to happen. So, I mean, I could probably just email Lori and say, hey, where do you get these? Because I need them. I don't really want to do that for a couple of reasons. Because it's kind of like, come on, really? But also I want to find like alternatives to these that I can just make or something. And these are pretty expensive as well. And so to take these and just use them as a peg for another eye, it's kind of a waste. I don't really want to do that. The other side of that is, so there's two ways we could do this. We could either, the right way, quote unquote, is to epoxy. Epoxy is the strongest because we need this to be really, really solid and strong. I hate using epoxy. It is unbelievably smelly. It is way worse than barge. It makes me ill. And it lingers in a way that barge does not. So these safety eyes, I think, are 42 millimeter. These shells are 55. So they're considerably bigger. And these are the biggest that I can get. Now, you know, the other thing. I don't think I have any halves. I have quite a few of these EVA foam spheres from Stacy Gordon. And one thing I did recently was cut them in half and then you just use them as a kind of filling and glue those in and then glue a doll joint to that. Makes the best lotion, yeah. So I don't know. You know, for the sake of expediency, because I really kind of got to get this done, maybe I will just use a couple of these. Because I have these, I think I have more of these actually. Let me just double check. What is this stock like? Because these are like, oh yeah. Okay, hang on, look at this. I got all these. Maybe we will. For the sake of this prototype, it's not really a prototype. This is now beyond the prototype stage. I think we'll just do the thing that we know works. And I will just use two of these. So the first step is to glue in the safety eyes. To do that, one of the things is I should sand these down. I'm in two places. Yes, you are. That happens a lot. So in order to have the glue hold on to these, you can't really see it in this camera because the light's all blown out, but these are quite glossy. And so one puppet creator uses EVA foam practice golf balls cut in half for their eyes. Yeah, that's a really good thing. Well, that's one of the things I'm looking at is, again, just using that as like a filling for vacuum form shells, because then you've got a solid base to build off of, right? The Monstrosity channel, I like the name. Hello, nice to see you. But I think just for now, I gotta get this done. That's the thing. I gotta get this done by the end of the week. So that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna glue in one of these safety eyes and just go with it. Now, we gotta sand these down so the glue will take. And of course, as I was saying, the type of glue matters. Epoxy is the best thing to use here, but I can't stand using it so much and it lingers for so long that I literally have to have the door to the shop closed for like 2 days to let it air out. And I can't afford to do that right now. So we're gonna go with hot glue, and I've talked smack about hot glue before and I stand by everything I said, but this is one of those situations where it's the thing to use for the time that we have. Always have to make some kind of compromises, and that is one of them. We're going to use hot glue. Hate to say it. Now, the other thing is the type of hot glue matters. And a lot of people don't know this, but like it is kind of a brand thing. I have found that wow, that extra light just suddenly happened. I look all like washed out and too bright. Anyway, nothing I can do about that. I can close the curtain. But we're about to get into gluing things, so maybe I shouldn't do that. Yeah, it's pretty good, huh? This is a bit of all right. I'm pretty pleased with how that's coming along. You ain't seen nothing yet. So anyway, what hot glue you get does matter. So if you are going to use hot glue for anything, and I'm not doing a brand endorsement here because I didn't get any kickbacks or anything like that, but I have found that like don't get like a no-name generic hot glue, because that stuff is just like it's just melted plastic, and when it dries and cools, it will crack super easy. We sold out and got sponsored. Yeah, not yet, but hopefully soon. I have found that Gorilla brand hot glue, and that's the only brand name that I've tried, and it worked so well that I just stuck with it. But Gorilla brand hot glue, there is a difference, and it tends to hold much better than anything else I've used. Any other, at least no-name generic type. So it does matter. So that's what we're using today. That's what I'm always using for everything. It has not let me down yet, other than burning me, which is what hot glue does, because it's basically napalm. So be careful. But that's what we're going to use for this. So I just wanted to get the hot glue speech out there. I don't know what camera to do for this, because I got to sand this, and it's going to be off of every camera. So I'll just stick on this camera. Get some sandpaper. Yeah, I mean, so remember the OG Gorilla Glue, the really weird, like amber colored stuff that foams and expands? That stuff is actually really, it's useful in certain situations. Some situations it's not, because when it dries, or when it cures, it's very hard, but because of that, it's very brittle. There's no flex in it, right? And you do kind of want to be aware of that, because puppets are soft things and they will flex and they have to move. They still make that. It's messy, yeah. Hot glue, barge, or epoxy. If you could only use one for your, this is a good question, for your adhesion, from now on, once you pick barge, like no question, no question. Barge will do like it all. It's really a matter of convenience and time. But yeah, no, barges, that's an easy question. Barge is by far the most useful out of all of them. Anything hot glue can do, you can do with barge. Or industrial contact cement. Epoxy, any two-part epoxy, like a resin, that's going to be the strongest hold. Like they literally hold cars together with that stuff. I've used the Gorilla Glue spray. Oh, they have spray adhesives? I should check that out, because I got Super 77, you know, the standard stuff. Danger, honey! Yeah, exactly. But I should check that. That's I like spray adhesive a lot. Spray adhesive is super useful. But again, like in terms of like the most sort of anthropomorphous use, definitely barge or industrial contact cement. You'll get the most mileage out of that. You could probably sing duct tape for adhesion. Ugh. Make a whole duct tape puppet, and you know what? It would be too heavy. Okay. Well, since we talked about hot glue, guess what it's time for? So I sanded these down just so there's like a rough surface, and the glue will adhere. Wow. You would think I haven't had any coffee. And those of you who joined us on the Discord will know that I have. This is just water now. I decided every Wednesday I get too over-caffeinated because I make coffee in the morning and then I make coffee for this stream. And I end up drinking too much coffee. So that's just water. Okay. Hot glue. So here is the danger with hot glue and this method, particularly if you use ping pong balls like I often do. The ping pong ball plastic is so thin. I add hot glue, as the name implies, is hot, that it could actually warp and buckle the plastic, and you don't want that. So you kind of have to like time it right. You gotta put the glue on, and then like put on the glue on the surface you're going onto, and then let it cool for a second, and then kind of hopefully time it right so that it's hot enough to adhere, but not too hot that it's going to melt the plastic. It's all kind of weird. This stuff, I have no idea how it's going to react. It may warp and buckle, it may not. So we're just going to try it and see what happens. The good part is, even if it does warp and buckle, it will still be usable. They make a low temperature hot glue. I think it works well though. It doesn't work as well. No, you're right, absolutely. They do make low temperature hot glue, and it doesn't work as well. Which is one of the reasons why I don't bother using it, because particularly for an application like this, where you're sticking an eye on and you need this to be solid, this has to like be able to be, biffed around a little bit. Anything, like, you need to make this as solid as it can possibly be, which is why epoxy is the best option for this. It's just not a currently available option for me in the time that I have. So there we go. Hello, Dennis. So speaking of hot glue, here we go. It's time. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the hot glue on the eyeball side and then put the shell over it. And we're gonna go slow and careful. We don't want to do too much, but we want to get enough on there so that when it hardens, it'll really make a nice solid connection. Cool just for a second. And plonk. Can I feel that coming through? I can kind of feel it, but it doesn't feel too bad. I think this might be all right. Here we go. Wish I could get these more. So useful. The other option with all of this is to just make some proper sized plastic washers, or even get some. I should just go to the hardware store. I bet you I can find some that'll work. But what this will do is it will yield a very nice looking eye that is very solid and well attached, and also of the right size. Yeah, that feels pretty good actually. I think that's gonna work. Okay, cool. So while this sets, and we want to let this cool completely before we move on. Yes, other brands are available. The other thing you can do once this sets up is you can then, I have one of the high precision hot glue guns, which is good for this because a lot of times you need that high precision. So it's just the nozzle is very thin. You can get in there and then sort of fill in some of these gaps. You don't want to use too much because again, that will add weight. Oh no, this is not a frog. This is, I'm not sure what it's going to be called. It's going to be slightly Skeksis. If this gives you a bit of a clue. We'll see where this goes. I'm not quite sure, to be honest. It's some kind of monster. Some kind of monster that's kind of halfway between the Skeksis and the Mystic, but sort of Muppety version of that. And I'm just really kind of experimenting and playing and seeing where this goes. This is all design and process stuff. It is a bit turtly. Yeah, it is a bit. It's all the stuff I like, right? It's all the lizard monster. Everything. Wait do you see what I got planned? Where is it here? Here we go. So the hair, I've been doing a little bit of experimenting and doing some mixed media with the hair. It is a bit gonzo, you're right. But some of this action going on there. Look at that. That's a bit of all right. I think we're gonna go in good directions with this. I think this is gonna end up being a winner. But what I need to do now is start planning out the eyelids. So excuse me for a moment. I gotta get my eyelid jig up here. And I've shown this on stream before. This is just a little thing I made to help plan out eyelid placement. So, yes, generic reptilian. I will come up with some kind of fun little name for it, like I do for all of them. What this is just an empty box. This is just an old ping pong ball box that I've drawn a cross on, and then put the diameter of a circle. In this case, it's a 42 diameter circle, which is the normal Crew Blue, good, which is my normal safety eyes. So that's exactly in the center, and there's a hole here, right? So what I can do is place an eye exactly at the center of this cross, and then I'm not sure how well this is going to work because it's on black plastic. Guess we'll find out. And then if you can find your compass, there it is. This is how you can make even eyelids. What's the most expensive puppet you've heard about? Like, not a collector's item, like a Henson puppet being sold, for example, but just in terms of expensive, in terms of complexity materials. 10,000, about 10,000. And I'll tell you exactly what that was. That was the quote that I got. I probably shouldn't say the name of the studio. When I was first planning, when I was first planning the Oracle, and I had some pretty elaborate ideas for what I wanted, and I was approaching various builders and studios this is before I started building. And I had a design for a puppet that I wanted built that didn't end up being a thing, but actually it was a lot like this. It was quite Skeksis-y. And Swazzle was like, okay, well, yeah, we can do it, and it will probably be 10,000. So yeah, it was Swazzle. But that's average. That's about right for what I wanted. I don't want to say Swazzle was expensive. Swazzle's like the super pros, right? They're the best of the best. They do waffles and mochi, like they're, yeah. Seen a massive dragon for a similar amount. Yeah. This was similar to that. This was a very Skeksis-y, and it was a full body, and it was very, very elaborate. So that was about right. Honestly, like now, if somebody wanted me to make that, I would probably lean towards that amount as well. Like, it's correct. I know it seems like a lot, but it's about right. So anyway, what I do is I got a little hole here, and one end of the compass goes in there, and then the other end, this is one of those locking compasses, so you just turn the wheel and it locks in place. And I decide where I want the eyelid. I'm gonna go about half, maybe higher than half. And then, can I even see this line? Yes, I can. Awesome. And then we just draw a line along the eye. Like that. Now for these, I want a top and a bottom lid. So what if I just spin this? I haven't done this before. This is all brand new. And then it's a little too thin. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, you can kind of see that. It's not bad. Let me see. Let me just put some fleece against that and see. I may do this again. I also, you know what? I'm gonna freehand this a little bit. I think this is correct placement for the sides, but I want to curve a little bit on the actual lids themselves. So let me, now that I've got a kind of base to look against, I don't know how well the camera's going to pick this up. Yeah, exactly. A lot of the cost of puppet building is literally just the time. Materials aren't necessarily all that expensive, although they can be, but it's really just the time. So let me see, if I kind of go, all right, there is where I want the lid to end up, then I can just sketch a quick curve. Well, pencil shows up really well on this, that's nice. Same on the top. Just and again, the hand sketching of this will kind of add a nice organicness to it. And then hopefully it'll erase okay. Yeah, it's not bad. I can also sand this down, but I want to keep some of the glossiness. We can clean this up. Clean it up in post, as we say in video production. This will be all right. Not paying attention to chat at the moment, in case you didn't notice. Okay, so we've got some guys. I know it's tough to see that on the screen, but yeah, well, as Scarlett points out, this is Polar Fleece. This is not the expensive Nyla fleece. This is the kind of stuff you can go into a big box store and buy. I'm using them more and more now because my budgets are pretty tight. And one of my goals is to try and make that stuff look good, so. Okay, so once again, the compass hasn't moved. That's another thing. You got to make sure that you're the same walked distance, so these will be even. Turn this around, same distance away, and then draw your other eyelid, and then I'm using these as guides to hand sketch. Nice curve. Then we're gonna be busting out, speaking of barge, busting out the barge pretty soon. I want to make this as nice and clean as I can before we start gluing the eyelids on, because it's going to be a pain to clean up afterwards. So let's try and just avoid that. Invest in our future comfort. Hello, Gerbils in Space. I've already done more work than you have. Well, time does not rest for puppets or something. I was sure, sorry I'm off camera, I was sure I had some of the really nice purple fleece left. And that's what I want to use for these eyelids. Can't seem to find it. And I kind of have to find it now. Right now, if I want to use it. Oh boy. So much fabric. Just piles and piles of fabric. Oh. Hey, look what I found. This is why I always save scraps that are of a decent size, because like doing stuff like this is perfect for eyelids. Just this little piece, right? So let's have a look at, yeah, look at that. That's all right. As Nigel would say, that's a bit of all right. I'm sorry, Scarlett. I'm really sorry. But you see where we're going with the top and the bottom lid. Oh, that's gonna look good. Look at that. Oh, yes. Those are the good noises. Okay. All right. Oh. To completely misquote Star Wars, I have a good feeling about this. So, what we got to do now, we got to get real, get the barge out. Keeping it real, yo. First, I want to make sure that these eyes are nice and clean, and I have a clean line to draw against. Also, get some gum. My mouth is dry. As it turns out, I'm talking quite a lot. Once again, ignore my own advice. Never chew gum and work with fur at the same time. We're just going to make sure that we've got these pencil marks cleaned up. Another thing I'm a little wary about is the edges here. I know you can't really see that on camera. A little bit cracked, a little bit. I'm going to try and fix that up as we're putting the eyelids on them. I might go, in fact, I think I probably will go right to the middle here. So that way this will all of the cracked area will be covered. And that will give some strength and make sure that it won't fray anymore, because we'll put bars around it and that'll hold it together. Also, only said I got a bad feeling about this, and it was only bad once. I'm trying to remember who else said it. I mean, it was said many, many times. Every movie. Leia said it during the approach to Endor. Luke said it in the trash compactor. What are we doing? We're quoting, showing our nerd creds with Star Wars trivia. Come on, do something original. Well, Leia said it was bad. Yeah, true. Alrighty, I think we are ready. So one thing I want to do with these eyes is I'm not going to do like the eye line, like the black, Fraggle style eye line. So I want to do like a folded edge and make a little bit of a ridge. Oh, Scarlet. Oh, you're hurting my heart. Yes, Leia was the daughter of Darth Vader, aka Anakin Skywalker. So the first thing I want to do is sort of map out, there's our stretch direction, so we know that it's got to go this way. We need to just cut some of this extraneous stuff off. I'm sorry, Leia being related to Anakin hasn't been a spoiler for almost as long as I've been alive. 8 years shy of that. Actually, no, hang on. Jedi was 83, so never mind. I was born in 68. Math, what is math? I was 8 when Star Wars, aka A New Hope, but then was just called Star Wars. You didn't know that Luke and Leia were siblings. Anyway, puppets. So yes, our stretch is going this way, and we're going to do top and bottom lids as well. So let's just do this. We're just going to cut these in half. Cut these in half again, trying to make sure this is a nice straight line. Sometimes I'm not sure if you're messing with me or not. You being so young and all, what do I know? So, first thing I'm going to do, once I bust the barge out, because the mask has to go on, so I'm not going to be able to communicate quite as clearly, is I'm going to fold these edges over and make a nice little folded edge like that, and then we're going to glue them on. So, fan goes on, gloves come out, mask comes out, and mics get weird. And of course, the danger honey. Let me move the stuff that shouldn't get danger honey on it away. Don't hurt the puppet builder. It should just be like a universal law. Okay. First thing we're going to do is just make a nice line of glue dry it, and then fold the edges over. Another way we could do this is just do it with spray adhesive. That would also probably work. Bars should probably work a little bit better, so I want to make sure these nice and solid. Mask goes on.
Leia, I am your father. Okay, so stretch going this way. So the ridge is here, the ridge is here. Speaking of Darth Vader, one of the things I had to do on Monday was have a pulmonary lab exam, which is like lung capacity. And it was very much like pretending you're Darth Vader. It was actually kind of cool. The equipment was very cool. No, see, Leia's mother was Amidala, who died in childbirth, and yet Leia has a clear memory of her. Because continuity doesn't mean anything in Star Wars. George forgot what he wrote last week. Oh, but the Force is something, right? Look, I love Star Wars, but the entire plot is one giant backfill. And if you can't deal with that, then you can't deal with Star Wars. Yeah, exactly. Luke had no memory, Leia did. Different types of midichlorians, clearly. Leia's got the blue midichlorians and Luke's got the green ones. That's why their lightsabers are those colors. Wait, is Leia's lightsaber blue or green? I can't remember. Whatever, that was a JJ thing, and you want to talk about backfilling. All right. right. Here we go. Don't stick to me, thank you. I'm gonna dry it. You're doing George's work for him. You're backfilling the plot. Wanted to cover a full sphere with fleece, like in frog's eyes. Would you need darts? So probably not. Depends on the fleece. If it's stretchy enough, you wouldn't. What you'd do is you'd stretch it around, put the adhesive on, and then you'd trim it off and ladder stitch it closed. That's how I did Kermit's body, for example. Yeah, for that kind of thing, it's better to do a technique called draping, where you put the fabric over and then you trim it away, or you pin it and then you trim it away, and you make the darts as you put the fabric on, instead of making the darts beforehand, if that makes any sense. Give me a moment, I'll give you a little demonstration. All right, so we're just going to fold carefully. Fold these edges over. That's holding well. Good, good, good. Yep, that worked well. Yeah, actually, the technique is similar to what we're doing with these half spheres. It's very similar. All right, so there we go. So as you can see, we've got a nice little ridge along the fleece now. So that edge will look quite nice and clean. So that's what's next. This is where it gets a little delicate. Because we've got our guidelines. Well, you can see that. We've got our guidelines. So we're gonna make sure that we only put glue around there. And then we're gonna lay the fleece on. And then trim it away. So this is where you have to be very, very precise. And not use too much glue. Always better to use not enough than too much. I'm gonna make sure we're following that line and no further. So I'm only going to do one half at a time. It'll be a bit easier. And the other thing I'm going to do is actually put some on the inside as well. And we're going to fold it over. And that'll make a nice clean finished edge. All right. Precise danger, honey. You got it. So this piece of fabric is too big, and that's good. We want it to be too big. We want room to move. I'm also not putting glue all the way down to the edge. I'm just kind of following the little ridge. And that way we don't accidentally get glue over the edge. It's probably good enough. All right, so now we want to dry it. And you want to get this quite dry. Yes, the filter, it's filtering out again. All right, so what you want to do is start at one edge and slowly work your way over and kind of stretch it a little bit as you go. So I'm just going to put one side on, and then we're just going to walk it along the edge, stretching a little bit. And then you just want to sort of stretch the fleece and pat it down. And you see how nicely that lays. I mean, it's kind of hard to see on this camera, I know. But so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim this away, but leave about a 1/4 inch. And to do that, I'm going to use these. These are Teflon coated non-stick scissors. So the glue won't stick to these. All right, so you see I've trimmed away all but about a 1/4 inch. And now I'm going to fold that over on the back side. And voila. We get the camera position correctly here. And you see how nice, and that's got a nice clean edge. It's going to sit on the head really well. We're probably going to want to tack down these corner bits, but we'll do that after the other eyelid is on. Steam deals finally got to me. What'd you do? What did you do, Ray? I think we may have done the same thing. Don't tell Jamie. It's gonna be a surprise. It's a little podcast preview. We'll see if Jamie and or Andrew watches the VOD. I got a Steam Deck. Oh, actually, I ordered a Steam Deck. I haven't got it yet. It's just our secret. But Zoo Tycoon, Space Haven, and Spider-Man. Nice. Yeah, well, the Steam Deck, what I'm mostly going to use it for is playing on the Neverwinter Nights server, which is coming right along, I must say. It's in good shape. More on that on the upcoming podcast, Pixels and Puppets. Yeah, Steam Deck is on sale right now. FYI. Yeah, all of the details for the Neverwinter server will be in the next podcast. All right, I got a little glue where I didn't want it, but that's okay. We'll deal with that. Oh yeah, it works just fine. Quite well, actually. The controls are a little wonky because it's meant for keyboard and mouse, but you can really work around that. I have a standard controller config that I've created that I like a lot. And it works just fine. So if that works, it'll work great on the deck. Jamie plays it on the deck. Or that is, Jamie played it on the deck once after a podcast. Okay, I think that's enough. I think it is. We'll find out. Jamie played everything on the deck. It's true. Hello, Koya. Nice to see you. Sorry, I was paying attention to what I was doing and not just the chat. Ad streamer. No cookie. Silent hairdryer. All right. Here we go with being exceptionally careful. We don't want to get glue where we don't want to get glue. You know what I mean? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, look at that. I am down with this, as the kids say. And then probably they say yo. I think. The kids still say yo. Yeah, glitter, exactly. I gotta get a little more glue on this. Missed a little bit here. This is where we gotta get super careful. All right, now we're gonna fold it over on the back to create our nice clean line. Sometimes people don't pay attention to things like, what's going on the edges, right? And you really should. It ups your build quality quite a lot. Oh, yeah. That's all right. I'm gonna have to get in there and really detail glue some of the back here just to make sure it's good and solid. I'll do that later though. We got there. Look at that. That's wild. All right, now we get to do it again. Yeah, it is very reptilian, you're right. Where'd the other eye go? Uh-oh. Oh, there it is. Yeah, right in front of me. I couldn't see it because it was camouflaged on the mat. Make sure these lines are gone before we get to it. Okay. That thing you just did, do it again. I think I'll try doing both lids. Like I'm gonna put the glue on for both lids at the same time. No, that's stupid. Don't do that. You need to be careful. These are the only shells like this I have, so I need to be a little bit extra careful. and not take chances. Go slow, be careful. These are the conversations I always have with myself while I'm building, and now I'm having them with you. Aren't you lucky? Just move this out of the way. It's always the trade-off between speed and precision. This is a case where you really want to lean into precision. I'm not sure either. I can't see the Apple Music screen right now. All right, gotta be careful. This has to be precise. Focus, Pinky. I'm not terribly good at precise. It is not a natural state of being for me. Yeah, that's all right. We're good. So you see, we go quite a bit more than we need, but that's to give us the room to kind of mess around. All right, so now we fold it over. Again, I'm gonna come back and clean up these edges before I actually put them on the head. I just want to kind of get through this so we can see the outcome. Yep, that's all right. Okay, last one. I mean, we don't gotta be symmetrical. We just have to kind of get in the ballpark. You know me and my asymmetry. Take that, Phil Fletcher. You freakishly precise android. They're sisters, not twins. Nice. I like that. I'll worry about that later. Oh dear, Indiescape, hope everything's okay. Be safe. Do what you gotta do, and the puppets will still be here. Oof. No, actually, I turn off the heat. I got a little trigger here that turns off the heating element. It's just air. Good question. If you want to reactivate the glue, then you do use heat. Heat will actually turn the barge back into liquid. So if you need to open a puppet up that's already closed, that's when you would use the heat, and you actually heat it up, and then the glue reactivates. Kinda. It's never perfect, but you get there closer. All right. Okay, how we doing? Yeah. Yes, always just air when I'm drying the glue, because heat will reactivate it. And that is that. How long did that take? Where are we at? 12:14. Yeah, that took a while, huh? And that's why we have to charge what we charge for puppets, because you saw how long that took. But I mean, look at the results. Oh, goodness. Okay, hang on. You gotta see this. Yeah, actually, air drying is the best. If you have the time to let it air dry, do that. The hair dryer is just a shortcut. You'll get a better adhesion if you let it air dry.
Oh, nice to be out of that thing. Turn the mask mic off. Yeah, so with the barge or with any contact cement, air drying is probably the best bet because it dries evenly. The hair dryer, you kind of dry the top layer and there's a little bit of liquid underneath, so you're not quite as solid. It all dries eventually, but air drying, you'll just get a much stronger adhesion, not much, but a little bit better adhesion immediately. So if you've got the time, air dry it. I use the hair dryer on stream because we need this to go quickly. So, and it's still fine. It all just dries. It's all good. Yeah, okay. Yep. Overnight's a little too long. You can leave it for maybe like, I don't know, 10, 20 minutes. I think Scarlett may have been being facetious. So, now what we do. Yeah, I don't have one I made earlier. I could have. Okay. Yep. I'm not sure how they're going to be oriented yet, but I think we're on to something. So what I have to do, I want to get around because some of these edges are a bit loose here. I want to get back there and really tighten those up and glue those down. I just wanted to see this just to see how it looks on the actual head. Lower it down. You know, I'll play around with the placement, but yeah. This is definitely going to look different from what I usually do. So, second part, let's see if I can hold all this thing in place. When the hair goes on. Wrong way. See where I'm going? Yeah. Those are the noises that a puppet builder makes when they're happy with their work. Yeah, this is gonna be something. Jojo, nice to see you. I meant to ask you actually to pronounce your actual name. Is it Josiah or Hosea? I'm not sure. I've never heard it pronounced out loud. So yeah, it's looking pretty good, huh? I'm just really kind of experimenting. I'm playing around with some new design ideas, but yeah, this is something special, I think. It really, I love it. I absolutely love this thing. It's gonna be another one I don't want to sell. You know what I mean? But I will, because we can make more. Everybody should get one. That's the thing. Yeah, this is cool. I like this a lot. So what do we do now? Gosh, we can talk about the hands, because the hands is the next part of this. Now that I'm through this, I have a decision to make. Whew. It is a slightly different design direction. I mean, this kind of thing was always in the works, and it's still Muppety, right? But it's just a slightly, it's just a different kind of vibe. a little bit more alien. I love these eyes. I cannot get over how much I love these eyes. I know it's hard to see on the camera, but wow. Oh, it's gonna be just weird and alien, and oh, I love it, love it, love it, love it. So for the hands, one thing I really want to do, since we're doing new stuff that we haven't done before, the real great new kind of puppet. Yeah. Oh, this is going to be a regular shot bottle. I guarantee you. I'm just so into this that, that's the thing. I make the stuff that I like, right? I make the stuff that I want to buy. Hopefully other people want to buy it as well. So for the hands, this one I think I'm probably going to do rotted arms, and I'm going to do my standard goblin-y, 3-finger thing. But I want to also do a version that's live hands. And for the live hands, since the kind of inspiration for this is a Dark Crystal, Mystic, Skeksis kind of thing, I want to do live hands, again with the 3 fingers of the Spock thing, right? But I want to do live hands with like finger extensions so that when you put them on, I don't want, maybe claws, maybe, because this is looking more Skeksis than I thought. Rotating eye back. Oh, you want to talk about time. Oh, that's a lot of time. Not impossible, but a lot of time. And there ain't a lot of room in this head for a mech. Anyway, I want to do like finger extensions. I want to make, like when you put it on, I want the fingers to go like a couple of inches longer than your actual fingers, right? So it's just kind of that weird and alien and real bad a villain puppet monster style. Yeah, well, who knows? But it's just alien, right? And that's the thing. It could be either. It could be, it's just kind of like a little bit unsettling, and that's what I like about it, right? Early Muppets were just a little bit unsettling. So now the problem I'm facing with deciding what to do with the hands is I've never done finger extensions, so I'm not even quite sure how I would approach that. The other thing is this is all. Oh, sorry. This is all the blue fleece that I have, and it is enough to do the live hands, because I would only do the hands. I would do the forearm fur, because the body is going to be fur. But I don't have enough to experiment with the hands and have that experiment fail. That's the problem. So since I don't quite know how I want to handle the finger extensions, I'm thinking I'm going to play it safe for this one and just do this one with rotted arms. And then the next one, I'll do a couple of experiments with some throwaway fleece and dial in the finger extensions thing well, because I don't want it to look weird and bulky. I don't want it, because I have fairly small hands, so my hands would probably be able to do it, but somebody with larger hands, it would probably look strange, and because it's just a glove with a thing on the end. I'm not sure. Is this regular fleece or from where it can start? No, this is actually polar fleece. Georgia, I should show you this, because I'm particularly proud of this. You see if this camera will get it right. They say you can't seam blend on polar fleece. Oh, look at that. There's a seam in there. How's that? Telling you, you can use accessible materials and make a great looking puppet. If I have any agenda, that's the agenda. So this, you are correct in that it is a slightly weird stitch. I do a baseball stitch, but from the inside. So, which is not the way you're supposed to do baseball. The baseball stitch is supposed to be from the outside. That's what it's for. It's like a ladder stitch, and that you're supposed to be doing it from the outside of the object. I do a baseball stitch from the inside. I can even show you close up what that looks like. It's a little hard to see, I know. But what that does is something similar, but the opposite to a ladder stitch. A ladder stitch takes, go to this camera, it's probably a little better for demonstrating. A ladder stitch takes the two edges of the fabric and curls them under like that, right? So then you get the surface here is like that, and then you pick the fibers out, right? There is no seam is a real creature head, yeah. What the baseball stitch from the inside does is kind of the opposite. It sort of forces it like this, right? So pushes the fibers out rather than tucks them under. And so there's no seam blending on that. That is just as it came out after I was finished hand sewing it, which is kind of amazing. And the problem, of course, is it takes a while, right? It's time consuming. I spent a couple of hours yesterday making this head, but I wanted to do that because A, it's a prototype and it's the first run of this thing, and I'm just dialing in the design. So, you know, I want to take a little extra time, and it's really worth it though. I mean, look at that. The top is didn't come out quite as nice. It's still pretty good for polar fleece. And once all the features get on there and everything, you won't even notice it, but it takes real creatures and add seams. But yeah, that's my special stitch. I'm going to do a whole video series on like FAQs, and one of the things is going to be on different stitches, and I am going to talk about my inverse baseball stitch thing. There is actually a Muppet connection to it, but it's not the Henson stitch. That isn't really a thing, and I get weird about that, I know. But, there's no Henson stitch. That's the secret. The real secret is that there is no Henson stitch. I can't stop looking at it. I mean, come on. That's pretty good. And once the feathers get on, get out of here. Don't even talk to me anymore. So anyway, yeah, I think the hands are going to be, for this one, I'm going to do rod arms just to play it safe because I have to get this done this week. So the body, let me show you the body. So that on our Discord hangout before the stream, so if you're not on the Discord, join the Discord and we can hang out and listen to commercial music. So here's the body, and it's one of my standard rod arm bodies. I may do a custom body for this later, but for the moment, this is, I mean, they're all going to end up so similar anyway that this will do just fine. But you know, we're going to go pretty standard stuff for my work, but I think it'll look okay. A nice long neck on this too is a thing. But I got a hand sew. You know what? That's what we're going to do right now. Actually, now that this is done, that's done, and I know what the timing is like. I got to hand sew the head of the body, so that's what we're going to do now for the rest of the stream. We got half an hour left. This is definitely going to take probably more than half an hour, almost definitely more than half an hour. So the way I do that is I turn the body inside out, keep the head right side up, and then stuff this inside, pin it or clip it. Join the Discord. Yeah, I wish the bot worked because we could just put the link up. But again, link tree, everything is in the link tree, including the invite to the Discord. And then we just fully turn it. So we just got to make sure the front is on the front. It's just good advice for life. And this is a bit of a struggle. This head's pretty big. Got to go through a not big space. That's all right. We'll get it. No, yeah, the only pattern, thank you. The only pattern for sale at the moment is the Goblin pattern. And like I said, I don't really have any plans to do any more at the moment. Because they're pretty time consuming to put that package together. Oh yeah, don't worry, by all means, please ask. But to put a package like that together, this is quite time consuming. I should do more though. I really should. I mean, as the community builds, you know, probably I'm sure people want more. So I don't know. We'll see. I've been thinking about maybe releasing the Greebly pattern because that's pretty basic. And like, you know, I still make goblins with that goblin pattern, you know, so it doesn't really, I'm not like, oh, I can't make the goblins anymore because I've released the pattern to the public. It's like, I still do, you know, but everyone is going to like go, oh, I can just make my own now. So yeah, you know, there will be more. I'm just not sure when. So So all I'm doing is clipping the neck in. Yeah, the Greeblies are super flexible, what you can do with them. All of my base designs are intentionally designed to be very kind of simple, so you can build on top of them and make a lot of different types of things, right? I showed yesterday on the Discord, join the Discord, 5, I think, different goblins that I've made with that one goblin pattern, and they all look completely different. Yeah, by all means. And Dennis, if you have any questions, so the goblin pattern is designed not for beginners necessarily. You have to know a bit. You have to at least know basic puppet building and how to read a pattern. But if you do join the Discord, and if you don't know what that is, it's basically like a fancy chat room, and we have our own server. You can always ask me questions about it, and I'm happy to answer. And I'm always there. Oh, that's so nice, Indieskeep. Thank you. And there's the other thing, particularly if you're on the Discord and we we hang out, we chat and stuff. If you ever want something, either that's up currently or haven't made yet, that's like, oh, I would like a goblin in this color or something, just message me. We can work something out. Even though I don't do custom work right now, something like that, and particularly for a community member, I would absolutely make time for it. So I don't want anyone to ever feel rushed. You know what I mean? Like if I have a puppet up on the shop and a community member really wants it or something, just ask me to hold it for you. Or I can just make another for you, right? I've done that before as well. So cast iron puppet, no. What is wrong with you? Have you never read the blog? About to join the Discord. Yeah, absolutely. By all means. It's always, I'm always there, right? So, if you ever want to just again, we just hang out, right? Like literally there's a pre-stream Discord stage I do where we're just hanging out and I'm just getting ready for the stream. And it's fun. The community grows. Can I see the blog again? OperationPuppet.com. And if you want to go right there, OperationPuppet.com/blog. It's real simple. Also in the link tree. Everything is in the link tree. The link tree holds the answers to all of your questions. Well, probably not. Okay, so there we go. You see, I clipped all the focus. I clipped all of the bits together, and now we're just gonna hand sew. Get the hand sewing alert, Zep. Get some thread here. Actually, some thread for here. Excuse me for being off camera. Oh, now we kick it back into we sew with the hands. There's the hand sewing alert. I think this will be on time. I think I will be able to finish this by Friday. Pretty exciting. I wasn't sure because again, I wasn't, I was gonna decide what to do about the hands based on how the eyes went. And the eyes did take a bit of time. It took the majority of the stream, so it means I really don't have the time to mess around and try and dial in the hands. So I will just do this one with arm rods, but the next one I'll do with the funky live hands thing. Yay! Hey, Jojo, nice to see you. Should I call you Jojo or should I call you like Josiah? That was the question I need to know. what you would like to be called. Because I'm just going by your username right now, right? So, Josiah Klein of JoJo Puppet Studios, everybody. Fellow builder, colleague, acquaintance, and dare I say, eventually friend. Welcome to the Discord. And that's what's nice about this whole thing, right? It's like, it is a community. Like, we're hanging out and just being friendly, and it's about more than the puppets even. It's just we all are united by our love of puppets. But take a look around. There's lots of channels for lots of different things. We talk about tech, we talk about gaming. If you've heard it on the podcast, Pixels and Puppets. You know, and here's the thing. There is usually a spike every Wednesday whenever I do this in listenership. So you're enforcing bad behavior, but keep doing it because it helps. It really helps. Speaking of the podcast, we're recording another one this Saturday. And I don't make puppets, perform with puppets, watch puppets. Like, you know what? You're not alone at all. There's lots of people who just dig it, right? And also just because it's like, you're just some cool, chill people who like cool, chill things. You know what I mean? Like, it's just nice. You're for the vibe into Annoy Kevin. Well, see? You've got a role to fill. Yeah, no, you don't have to be, you know, like a quote-unquote puppet person, although you probably will end up as one. That's the wording, you know, one of us. I mean, we got you covered. You want to talk about Linux? We could talk about Linux. There's, you know, I keep, Jamie and I keep bemoaning in the Gizmo Town channel about various things to do with Linux and Windows and Mac. We're all nerds of various different flavors. I'm regretting not making more coffee now. I knew I would. Really want some coffee. I've still got the fan going. I really don't need it. That's one nice thing about the ventilation in this room, at least. The barge clears out pretty quick. Unlike epoxy. Make puppets at light speed, yeah. Podcast this week, Jamie is away. So it's going to be me and Andrew. But I think we'll be able to hold the fort. You get me talking and it's hard to stop, you know. You watch his stream at two times speed the other day. I don't, you know, I know like a lot of people like do that. They listen to like podcasts at a slightly higher speed. I can't. I always hear the chipmunkness of it. But then again, I actually hoard my podcast because like I usually listen to a podcast either when I'm exercising or when I'm working. And that takes a lot of time. And so all of the podcasts that I enjoy, you know, they come out maybe once a week if you're lucky. So I kind of keep them for just when I'm exercising or working or whatever. If you have a suggestion for a podcast, there is a channel on the Discord called Good to Your Ear Hole, in which you can post music suggestions and podcast suggestions, and anything that you want to listen to. I enjoy slow vibe talks because they don't remind me of work. It's a good point. That's what we're here for. We're here for the chillness. Chill lo-fi puppets to study by or something? I don't know. I guess my puppets are pretty lo-fi. That's the way I like it. Exciting hand sewing action. You say it like Gus, it is exciting. Exciting hand sewing action, action, action. I gotta get to more Oracle videos. We actually have some questions building up. Maybe I'll sit down at some point this weekend. Oh wait, it's podcast weekend. I probably won't have time to sit down and write. We'll see. Maybe I will. We've got the podcast down to such a streamlined process now that it doesn't take that long to get it all together. We're kind of old hands at this by this point. That's interesting. I'm seeing updates on the Discord that I'm not seeing on my Restream chat. Very interesting. Oh, there they are. It just hadn't scrolled up. Weird. Thank you. I really love making the Oracle. It's really just a time thing, right? But I will always make more Oracle. I just, that's my deal. Those are my characters. Frankie and the Oracle are like family. That's why I bumped the mouse, and that's why it's scrolled. I'm gonna put the mouse over here. Bad mouse. No cheese. Where are we at? 15 minutes left. Hope you're enjoying the another 15 minutes worth of hand sewing. We're doing it. We're going all the way to the end. Doesn't matter. And then I get lunch. You like this shirt? This is a new shirt. My extremely thoughtful wife got me this shirt. Because I need shirts desperately because none of the shirts I own, well, very few of the shirts I own actually fit me. Turns out I'm a medium now. Oh no. You know, that fan is actually starting to annoy me. Let me turn it off. One sec. I know you can't hear it, but I can. Oh, much better. So let's see. After this, I'm gonna make the arms and the body insert. And then do the facial features. And that's where things are going to get real fun. Yeah, I always do the facial features last. Although I've heard a lot of builders always the very last thing they do is put the pupils on. That's not always the case for me, and I'm not quite sure why. Often it's the tongue for me, and I'm not quite sure why that is. I think I'm in a hurry because it's when you put the pupils on that suddenly the character has life, right? Yeah, I'm curious too because I have no idea. I have a direction I'd like to go in, but this is one of those situations right from the scratch where I'm just like, I don't really know. I'm just gonna start cutting things and gluing them together and see what shapes I come up with, and then letting it sort of reveal itself, And that's, for me, that's the most fun part when you build is that whole because that's when your subconscious can get involved and just guide you in ways that you didn't expect. You can surprise yourself, right? That's super fun. And I feel kind of guilty because not guilty, but egotistical because when those eyes turned out really well, I feel bad about saying good things about my own work, right? I'm self-conscious and insecure, like puppet people. Bit of a trope. I don't want to seem like I'm arrogant or something, you know what I mean? Because there's way better builders out there than me. And I know it. I'm just beginning this whole thing. Throw some foam and felt in the bag, shake it up, see what falls out. You're trying to push my buttons, aren't you? I'm onto you. It's just because I'm awesome. Well, yeah, that's obvious. Well, thank you, Dennis. That's very nice of you to say. I appreciate that. Thing is, I'm highly specialized. I just do a couple of things, and I just keep doing those couple of things. This is one of the first times I've really kind of branched out from my usual stuff. Correcting myself, I was wrong. Oh, that was a legit mistake. Okay, because I got to think about felt instead of fleece, right? So much so that on the general channel on the Puppet Pit on the Discord, I didn't set that channel up. Jamie did, and Jamie had actually put in the description, "It's not felt, it's fleece!" Exclamation mark. I blame Perception Studio for it. Actually, I don't. They just perpetuated the myth. In spray paint ping pong balls, how do you avoid drips? Go very slow, go very, very light coats. Don't try and coat the whole thing in one go. And do 3 or 4 coats of very, very light, just very light. Don't try and cover the whole thing at once. Take 4 or 5 runs at it, because otherwise, yeah, you do get buildup and it drips. I don't actually do it all that often. It is a good thing to do though. But yeah, and I mean, it's really, that's another thing where you'll probably just more practice, like you'll get a feel for it. Like anything, the more you work with certain tools or materials, the more it will just become instinctive, right? And that's really the only difference between, you know, a pro and a not pro, is a pro has had the experience of dealing with that stuff and knows when it goes wrong what to do, right? It's not that things don't go wrong, things go wrong all the time, but you've had the experience to know what to do and how to accommodate for that when it does. That's the only difference. Felt policing is always a pet peeve of mine. I remember cringing as things would actually make up out of felt. Yeah, you know, hey, everyone starts somewhere, right? Yeah, it's amazing how widespread. I mean, because everybody, I'm not even sure where it started, right? Because like everyone thinks Kermit was made out of felt. That I think is the origin of it. And is just because felt and fleece both start with F? Is that why? Or is it just because more people know of the existence of felt more than fleece? You know what I mean? Like it's more commonly known material. Well, yeah, Joe, you know, like puppet people, I find, I mean, I'm sure there are exceptions to the rule, but we all tend to be somewhat introverted and at least a bit thoughtful, and, you know, you kind of have to be to do this, right? And so, you know, being self-conscious, there's a reason we get under a puppet rather than be on camera, right? Because we're self-conscious. I've had to practice this a long time to be comfortable on camera. It's not natural at all. So, you know, and I think it's good and important to keep your head on the ground. Keep your head on the ground, keep your feet on the ground, keep your head above water, and not get too, like, you know, I appreciate it when people say nice things about my work. But it's also important to not necessarily buy into it all the way. Like, keep humble, you know, like you'll stop doing good work the second you believe you're doing good work. You know what I mean? Keep your head out of the shot. Yes, exactly. Let Kermit take over. You know, it is important to kind of keep a sense of your own proportions, right? Like, and I always try to remember that. Like sometimes, you know, when things are going really well and people are saying really nice things about me, I'm like, hey, you know what? I am good at this. And it's like, no, just chill. Go look at Phil Fletcher's work and then tell me how good you are, right? Like, that's why I've always got Frankie back there going, look, kid, just relax. You're good. Okay, you're good, but you're not the best. And the goal isn't to be the best, right? The goal is to just put something nice in the world. That is the whole thing. And I feel like if I've done that, then mission accomplished. Wow, we got real philosophical on the stream today. Yeah, but it's part of it. It is absolutely part of doing this. There's a reason why these things speak to people, right? The goal is to make puppets, exactly. But when you're in this as a field, you do have to think about these things. There is a reason why we do this and not something else, right? So it's worth thinking about. And it's also fun to think about. Well, thank you. Yeah, I'm real happy with Frankie. And that's one of those things, like, Frankie and the Oracle and Gus and Jelly Roll, they're all my signature characters. So of course, they were all made during my holiday breaks when I could just sit down and take the time and really lean into them. Like if I was to sell something like Frankie that would take the same amount of time, I would have to like double what I charge usually, just because of the time. I can hear Jimmy outside the door yelling. Jimmy woke up from his nap, everybody. We got a few minutes left. Maybe we should let Jimmy have a cameo. What do you say, James? You want to come in and say hello to the nice people? Yeah, hi. Yeah, come here. Yeah, the door will stay open. Relax. I'm not trapping you in here. Now he's not coming over. Come on. What are you doing, Goofus? Whoa, we gotta get you on camera. Here we go. Hello. Jimmy sleepy. Isn't Jimmy sleepy? Unimpressed. I probably will not sell Frankie's pattern. It's one of my core patterns. I use it for a lot. All my Blink Mech Live Hands monsters are actually the same pattern that is Frankie. It's one of those things that, like, the pattern itself is fairly simple. And it's just how you build that out and how you build on top of it. Yeah, Area 51 for puppets, for sure. So no, I probably will not sell that pattern. If I was going to sell the pattern, it would probably be the Greebly. But again, that's still something that's like, I don't know, maybe not. And again, that's just a time thing, nothing else. You have to ask Frankie first. Yeah, what are you doing? You can't make more of me. And again, like the Frankie pattern isn't really anything special. It's no patterns are actually. This is one of the things I keep banging on about. Is like new builders need to kind of relax a bit about patterns, because it's not about patterns. Most patterns are fairly basic and simple. It's what you build on top of those patterns, right? So, I've got a video series that just shows you how to do one from scratch, and you literally just start drawing shapes and then gluing them together and see what you get. But it's what you build on top of that is the difference. So like all of my Live Hands monsters have basically used the same pattern, and yet they all look different. That's where the actual character comes into it. It's not the pattern. A shape, like a tube is a tube. And it's what you do with that tube, right, that matters. Jamie's on an airplane, so he's the metal tube that flies. Yes, Jamie is on an airplane. Did I miss Jamie in the chat, or is Jamie on the Discord? Yeah, Jamie's traveling. Frankie's gonna have an existential crisis if he finds that he's the second Frankie. No, the first season of the Oracle was all a dream, remember? We're almost at time here, and I now have a cat in my lap, so we're no longer puppet building. I gotta have my lunch, buddy. You gonna come and have some lunch? All right? You woke up from your nap, you get some lap time, and you're gonna get some lunch. That's pretty good. It's fun to freehand patterns. I never built a puppet until January this year, and I know I've built 4, see? I couldn't reproduce them, but that's okay. Exactly, that's the tricky part. Is not having a pattern and building a puppet from that pattern is not the hard part. The hard part is building 2 that are identical, right? Even the Muppets can't quite manage that. So that's the real challenge. darts can be tricky. I agree with you. I'm 100% with you on the darts thing because, like, whenever I have to do a dart on fur, it's fine. I can do it on the machine, no problem. But whenever I have to do a dart on fleece, I never use the machine. I always do it by hand just because it always gets a weird corner or something when I do it on the machine. Yeah, placement can be tricky too. I can show you some tricks, or not really tricks, but like techniques for how to sort of figure out where the dart should go. That is, again, that's a very common question that people have when they start, is like, where do the darts go? Generally speaking, a dart goes where a curve is. But we don't have time to get into that right now because I literally got to go for lunch. It's now, we are now at time. Hit the buzzer. With the cat in the lap still. He's still here. Yeah, see? This way, look at the people. Nope. I'm a cat. I'm going to do the opposite to what you want me to do. Anyway, thank you everybody. Once again, great stream. Let's see. We did this with the ears. Let's do it with the eyes. I can't. I have glasses. I can't. Wait. Sort out. Here we go. Here's my next Halloween costume. Yeah. Okay. Stay tuned. Thank you for joining the Discord, etc. and so on. Also, forget, next episode of the podcast is coming out. I will try to have a good lunch. You all have a good rest of your week. And hopefully we'll see you back here next week. And I'm going to go have some lunch. Thank you very much, everybody. We will see you later.